And when I say this, I'm saying that Indian seafarers are possibly the finest that you will find anywhere in the world. I think they are great minds. Just the track record over so many years proves that they just need a fertile playground for them to prosper. So two things that I'm going to leave with you. One is the necessity to bring industry into the picture, to get industry to support research, and then to get faculty that is outstanding, to make teaching aspirational, and to ensure that faculty is involved in research. They are not teaching out of notebooks and prepared texts, which is far removed from reality. Today, our boys go to training institutes only for that piece of paper, not because they are learning something. Both my sons studied in the US in Ivy Leagues, and they came back with such a outstanding impression of what academics could be. They had a couple of lectures by Jagdish Bhagwati. President Obama taught or took a couple of classes. This is what great teachers can do to inspire young minds. Ladies and gentlemen, those are my few thoughts. Dr. Simon, thank you very much for this opportunity to share the stage with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Those were very inspiring words indeed. Next on the agenda is Srimati Meena Robert. I think, ma'am, are you logged back in? I think she just lost connection for a minute. Ajay, could you contact her, please? You're muted, Ajay.
Not yet.
Okay. Simon sir, if it's okay, we'll proceed with Alapat sir's talk next, so then we will get ma'am in when she has got the connection back. Thank you, sir. I would like to invite another distinguished fraternity member. Captain Joseph J. Alapat has been with the Cochin Port Trust for the past 25 years, starting as a pilot. He is one of the founding members of the Company of Master Mariners of India, Kochi chapter. He is the Deputy Chairman of the CMMI Kochi and a Fellow and Vice President of the Nautical Institute, India Southwest chapter. Captain Alapat has been Deputy Conservator of Cochin Port Trust since March 2018. I request him to kindly launch the Seafarers Widow Association and share his thoughts on crew change. Over to you, sir.
Right. Good evening, everybody. Our chief guest, Shri Maneesh Pradhan, and Mr. Uday Purohit, and our friends from the Mariners Nite Mariner Society here in Cochin, led by our president, Professor Simon. These are indeed strange times when we face. But that said, we'll do two things. One is to launch the Seafarers Widows Association here in Cochin, and Mrs. Roberts was supposed to give us a brief on that association, but since she's going to come on a little later before I launch it, I would just like to add what it's all about. As Mrs. Roberts said, told us, I mean, the whole intention is to form who are now living each other. I'm very happy that we've chosen a very appropriate day today to launch this, because as you know, helping is just not giving money or goods or something like that, donating goods. It can also be by way of your ear or a nice word, or even a shoulder and a hand to hold on to. So what Mrs. Robert is doing in this is very noble, and we hope we will have her give more details. Meantime, I would just like to I'm kind of very happy to and kind of humbled also to be able to be here in front of all of you great people to launch the Seafarers Widows Association here in Cochin, and we give them every support in all their endeavors, and we wish them every success. So that said, that finishes the first part of what I was asked to do by Professor Simon today, and the other part would be probably the hot topic of the day, which is crew change in these times that we are living through. Nobody expected we all know we never expected this. I mean, nothing prepares you for this. In our seafaring experience, we call on experience of the past events and experiences to handle challenges. But this is a challenge that we were never trained for or even foresaw this, and nobody foresaw it. So let's say we're dealing with it day by day basis. So it happened, all unfolded very quickly. I think in a span of few months, the whole world was locked down, and the Indian lockdown also happened very suddenly. And the international flights, of course, they wound up very fast in a matter of few days before anybody could react. And obviously, when such things happen, there has to be some what you call people who were left out from the thought process initially. And as always, that happened to be the seafarers, because when we shut down everything, we just didn't forget that we had a lot of people out at sea working very hard for all of us, and we had no ways to get these people off their ships back home, or even get the people who were home to relieve them. This was not, I must add, in everybody's priority at the beginning, at least not the governments to be. But very soon the sounds started coming, and I must, in this particular instant, I must kind of congratulate the DG Shipping. I mean, of course, they are expected to take care of seafarers, but they did take care of the issue, and they flagged it at every opportunity that they had. It was in agendas, in port meetings, in any meeting at shipping. Crew change was definitely on the agenda. And thanks to the push by the DG Shipping and our Minister of Shipping, that everybody had to then react and do something. And without flights, it was always a complex thing, but at least we could at least take off our own seafarers, Indian seafarers. That itself, unfortunately, proved to be quite a daunting task. We would all think it's the most easiest thing for us to bring our own ships into our ports and send off our own seafarers and put new seafarers on board, but it's not that simple, unfortunately, as we found out. And it actually involved four different kind of agencies. Essentially, of course, DG Shipping was leading the pack, and in this particular instance, I would be failing if I did not mention in particular, apart from DG Shipping and all the other advisors, Captain Daniel Joseph, who actually really led the way in this and pushed and kept at it, and he had to work almost around the clock to get this thing off the ground. So he was leading it, DG Shipping was leading it. It involved the Ministry of Shipping. It involved the Ministry of Home Affairs, because the lockdown was being affected by the Home Affairs Ministry. It involved the Ministry of Health, because of course it is a public health situation, a pandemic, and it always involved the immigration, which comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs again. And then, of course, it involved the local, state, and district health authorities, because in the end of the day, any infection that we detect has to be taken care of by the district themselves. So they also had to play a part, and we were very grateful that all these different agencies came together and start crew change and anchor. Then you know how limited they are in numbers. But once we opened up the anchorage, then things really started moving, especially in Cochin, because of our location. We were the obvious choice for most lines which were trading east-west to drop and pick up seafarers, and we were able to do that. So from the 15th of May till today, I'm very happy to note that we've handled about 160 odd ships at anchorage. I'll make it about 3,000 seafarers have changed. Have been changed on board ships since the lockdown started in the last week of March. And all this could happen because of cooperation from all the agencies, because even after you have guidelines and everything from the ministries, the person on the ground needs to be also convinced and acting in that. So we had to work very closely with our Port Health, our Bureau of Immigration here, our customs, of course, and of course hotels and taxi drivers and bus transportation arrangements, the agents, and of course, not last but not the least, is definitely our tug companies who have been doing a terrific job. Those poor guys are out there, one trip after the other, taking off people and bringing them safely. And we're very happy to say that so far, and I don't want to say this too soon because I'm a superstitious person, but we've had no untoward incident, and I'm very grateful for that. Even with the monsoons having kicked in, we are still managing crew change. In fact, today was one of the very busy days that we had. I think we've had 7 trips of the tugs to get off people and put people on. So anyway, but all said and done, but this is one of the few jobs where you get a lot of satisfaction from, because as a seafarer myself, a past seafarer at least, to be able to help our own community like this in a very direct way has been extremely gratifying. Nothing can give you more pleasure than that, monetary gain or whatever profits or most. So it's not just a question of, getting seafarers off the ships. That, of course, is something very important, because the last thing we want is a fatigued seafarer on board a ship. And we were not only able to take them off, it's also important to put some people back on. So the last thing we want is, because of this epidemic and some few bureaucratic hurdles, that Indian seafarers lose our jobs. That should not have. That should never happen. So we've also been able to put people on board the ships. The way I could, I think in them before, and I'm not going to repeat them again for paucity of time. But I would like to thank all of them. And also, before I conclude, I would like to take this opportunity on this very auspicious day, a momentous day as far as we're concerned, in a day that the IMO and for us, I think in the world as such, and I think we should keep that up. We should not take our foot off the pedal. We must make.
Managing Director, Anglo-Eastern Ship Management, one of the largest employers of Indian seafarers in the world, to please share his thoughts on this momentous occasion. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Respected Dr. Simon, Captain Ambiar, Captain Joseph Alapat, Mr. Uday Purohit, Mrs. Robert, Captain Benny, and all dear distinguished guests. First of all, I would like to wish each one a very, very happy day of the Seafarer. Very relevant points raised by Kate, better facilities, seen an unprecedented growth of reportedly 42% for the Indian seafarers. And India now provides, we have a lot of steps to take, and training definitely leads the way. Captain Alapat spoke about the strange times that we are in, and actually he's right. It was unthinkable, Polo, Vasco da Gama, and the likes. In fact, the history of seaborne trade and maritime activity in India dates back to the pre-Mauryan age, which the historians have confirmed. As of today, 90% of the goods are transported by ships, and it still remains the cheapest and the cleanest form of transportation available. More than the industry, I would like, since it's the day of the Seafarer, I just want to talk about seafarers today. Seafarers have facilitated maritime trade, civilizational contracts, and new discoveries since time immemorial, even at the cost of enduring difficult conditions, pretty much including what we see today. Modern seafarers form a crucial element of the global economic system while braving risks, pressures, and hardships that are unique to a life at sea. A seafarer actually is a rare professional, and most of the globalized, is a rare professional, one of the most globalized and heritage industries. It's a moving industry. Person on board with the same skill set. Yes, I mean, it goes from junior to senior, but there is, each person on board is a unique rank with a fixed set of skills and responsibilities. No external aid, such as a doctor or a professional, can come to your rescue when things go out of hand. So basically, an entire set of encyclopedias can be written on what rides on a seafarer, and honestly, it is way beyond my capacity to be discussing it now, because I can go through the night talking about seafarers. So many luxuries which are normal to people working ashore are definitely elusive for a seafarer, like breaks over the weekend, family time, holidays. I mean, these are things that once you get on board, it's all behind you, and you can revisit it only when you come back home after your tour of duty. But despite all this, the seafarer is hidden from life and little known for the fact that without the maritime industry, this world would not be in its present state. A seafarer is primarily unheralded and unacknowledged. The sacrifice, endurance, diligence, mental strength, commitment of seafarers is second to none. And what stands out is the skill and commitment to a job with a little or no external help and no excuses whatsoever. Almost everything around us in some shape or form was carried on board a ship before it got to us. So all for these reasons that I just mentioned, I for myself am a very, very proud seafarer. The present corona pandemic has just provided us another reason to be proud of the seafarers and the profession at large. Despite the lockdowns world over, the seafarers have had no respite and continue to professionally commit themselves to the job at hand and ensure that ships continue to trade so that the global supply chain continues to roll on. In the times of this pandemic too, it would be difficult to fathom a world without the ships trading to get us the basics like oil, gas, food, etc. to our homes. No ship has stopped despite many industries shutting down and downscaling. Present times has people stuck on board, unfortunately, with forced duty overruns, which is the most unfortunate part. It is more critical for them to be safe as fatigue and monotony can get the better of you, but that should not be, and you all need to be extremely careful and cautious. The people on board today, their wellness is actually our biggest concern as a company. A lot of people ashore too are anxious to kind of start up with their job and start up with their earnings, which also is hampered, and actually we do get a lot of calls of people who are wanting to join because they have plans as well. Thanks to the Government of India, Ministry of Shipping, DG Shipping in particular, Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of External Affairs, Ministry of Civil Aviation, Port Health Authorities, all of these people have actually come down to help us, and the response from the government that we've got is absolutely phenomenal. All these people did what it takes to get the crew changes started in India, and after that it were the chartered flights. I never could have dreamt how difficult, never could have dreamt that we would actually be getting seafarers ferried up and down by chartered flights, and it's a big process. But the way all these organizations or these ministries have come together and helped us out is absolutely phenomenal, and I shall remain indebted to all of them. Once again, I would like to thank DG Shipping and his office, in particular, Dr. Daniel Joseph, who's been he's just a WhatsApp away, and he's actually the one who put us on to Captain Alapat, and it's been absolutely smooth sailing since then. Anglo Eastern so far have already flown 850 crew on chartered flights. The first chartered flight was on 3rd of May, if I remember. 850 people have already taken chartered flights to up and down to get on to the job or come back home. And so far, we've actually achieved more than 1,750 crew movements on board 127 ships already. But this is only a job that has started, and my team here and the ones all over India, including Kochi, are working tirelessly to make the overdue staff come back as soon as possible. Being the largest and the most awarded company in India for Indian seafarers, this is not just our job, but it's also our commitment, and we will stand by it. We have actually asked a lot of the international governments and organizations to have green corridors for seafarers, and this is a cause that many of us through various channels are fighting, and hopefully it will be reality soon. Another reason for attending this function when I was approached by Dr. Simon was, as I've already mentioned, my thanks and my gratitude to Captain Alapat. Ever since DG Shipping has allowed, and if I heard it correctly, Captain Alapat mentioned that about 60 ships have already diverted to Kochi for crew changes. 22 have been our vessels. So, Captain Alapat, once again, thanks a million. You have actually helped us bring 209 people back home to their loved ones after their completion of tour of duty. So thank you so much. Right. And besides Captain Alapat, of course, the Kochi Port authorities and all the regulatory bodies that have made this happen. Special mention of our team in Kochi, our Kochi office led by Captain Joseph. They have been working tirelessly to make this happen. Before I end, I would just like to, and I hope I may be overshooting my time a bit, but this is a very interesting, I've heard a lifetime coach who actually narrated this, and it's a very interesting short story. I'll cut it down fast, but it's about the topic, or the statement made is, will it make the boat go faster? And I've mentioned this at a few fora, but I thought it would be interesting to speak about it. So this is the story of the British rowing team, which had not managed to win a single medal in the Olympics. And especially this was, I think, the 8-person or the 12-person team and then the British Sports Committee decided to lay them off and said that it's okay, you guys never win a medal, we don't want to waste time and money on you guys, so please lay off. And then this team met together and they had a few discussions, and they went back to the committee and said, we would be very grateful if you give us one more chance and we will show you the difference we made. And don't take any of our costs, we will do it ourselves, but give us a chance. And the committee, for some reason, said yes, and they went back to the drawing board, and each of them decided that whatever they do till the day of the race, they will always question back the group by saying, will it make the boat go faster? So when they decided on which equipment to buy or what gear to use or what, they always said, is this oar going to make the boat go faster? Fine, I will use this oar. Is this shape of the boat or these kind of dynamics or the hydrodynamics going to make the boat go faster? They would decide by that. And similarly, when it was the weekend, they thought, okay, let's take 2 days off and let's be with our families. Then somebody would pop up the question, will it make the boat go faster? And then would say, no, meeting families, okay, we will again get distracted, get back. No, let's continue practicing. And then came the D-Day, the day of the opening ceremony at the I think it was the Australian Olympics, I'm not too sure, but you can get this story back on the YouTube. It was about, it's the dream of every athlete to be marching on that ceremony. And these rowers, they said that if we go to this marching ceremony and we kind of tire ourselves out and waste about almost 3 to 4 hours as part of that ceremony, will it make the boat go faster? And the common discussion was, they derived on the fact that no, it won't make the boat go faster. Let's practice instead. And then came race day, and believe it or not, this team smashed all the records. They smashed all the records, and if I'm not wrong, they still hold the record for the best timing for that Olympics. The reason for saying this story was simply to say and to keep our focus. What was spoken earlier about training, we want to be the best. If there is any way that we can survive in today's time, the only way is to be the best. Have the focus on the goal. And the goal, and in order of priority actually, I always tell the people who come here for briefing that what are the 4 most important things that you need to take care of. Number 1 is yourself. You are the most important person. And when I say you, it includes your family. So you and your family should be the first priority when it comes to asking. And the boat here only becomes symbolic. You are very important. See what's most important for you. So whenever something is challenging you, ask yourself, is this good for me? Then do it. Second is your colleagues on board or your colleagues when you're ashore. Their safety, protecting them, training them, the camaraderie is very important on board a ship. So you take care of your colleagues. Thirdly, the environment. We in India have actually woken up to the environment a little on the later side, but finally we have, and we are seeing the negative effects of air pollution and water pollution. So please take care of the environment. That's very, very important. And last but not the least, your ships. It's only finally down to, it's a business. It's finally down to the commercials. If the ships don't trade, if the ships don't move, if the ships don't have business, it's going to affect us. It comes back to the first priority. So, if the ships don't work, it comes back to us. So to end it all, my wish remains that seafarers get more respect and recognition in society, and the world gets more knowledgeable about them for what they do for the society. Seafarers are key workers and should be unsung no more. I am a very, very proud seafarer myself, and I wish that pride on the entire fraternity. Once again, happy day of the seafarer, and thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking and inspiring words. Next, I am very proud to introduce and invite Srimati Meena Robert for a presentation on the Seafarer Widows Association, Cochin. Srimati Meena Robert, wife of late K.J. Robert, was a marine engineer. She resides in Ernakulam, Baikla. She is highly involved in social work with runaway children, orphans, prisoners' children, along with the jail ministry. Also engaged in the welfare work for destitute women and widows, she has worked as a lecturer for 15 years. Counseling sessions are also given for women and children in distress. Apart from that, she is also associated with the Virapoli Diocese as 1. The Secretary of the Commission for Women, 2. The Executive Member of the KLCWA or the Kerala Latin Catholic Women's Association, 3. The Executive Member of the Commission for Ecumenism and Dialogue, and 4. She is also the first President of Almana, the Diocesan Widows Association. Above all, this wonderful lady wishes to describe herself only as a woman who can understand another in need and in distress. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, everybody, and greetings of the day. As you know, I represent my fellow workers in the Seafarers community. Allow me to begin with the statement that each stage in life, or every stage in life, has got its own importance, dignity, and grace. But sad to say that widowhood alone has yet to attain its rightful place. For many women, becoming a widow does not just mean the terrible heartache of losing the husband, but often it amounts to losing everything as well. In many a circumstance, a widowed woman becomes in effect a non-person, almost a non-entity, destined to be invisible and unheard for the rest of her life. The case of the Vrindavan widows is a typical example of this. Vrindavan, a place where people go and dump their widows to fend for themselves for the rest of their lives. A few years back, news reports shocked us with the lines that for want of people to conduct their burial services, dead widows' bodies were chopped up and thrown into the river, like the dumping of waste. Many widows are required to wear their dress code, that is the colorless white or the kavi, with their head shaven and things like that. To rub salt into the wound, a lot of superstitions ostracize them from society and all social functions. Even at your own son's wedding, you were robbed of all the privileges of a mother and is asked to lurk in the background, be unseen, when other relatives usher in the or the bride into your own household. Inauspicious was the cry against them. A friend of mine sadly confessed to me her thoughts. Meena, it is as if I have lost or have been deprived of all the colors of life and the savors of life. How very true. We have come a long way from that state, and a sort of normalcy has been restored, externally, of course. But internally, that is, mentally, emotionally, and psychologically, much assistance is wanting. We have to bring back the joy of existence in the lives of widows and not dispossess them of their zest for life during their God-given span of life. A widow's rights are a woman's rights and human rights. Ignoring the needs and the concerns of widows are a violation of human rights. And we should remember that. A violation indeed of human rights. Every life I know is beset with challenges, more so women's lives. And for widows, it is even more. The challenges faced by widows at different strata of society differ significantly. Much courage, endurance, and a clear vision is needed to face these challenges well. Being a seafarer's widow or wife perhaps offers you the best of choices in life. I agree. But when widowhood comes knocking at your door, in spite of your financial stability and other favorable situations, you still feel lost and stranded. Your desperate search for some sort of assistance, understanding, or companionship, and for kindred souls, bears little or no fruit. It's traumatizing, and it takes years to come into terms with the situation. The association intends to make this transitional phase quicker, comfortable, and more congenial. To point out that grief can also inspire courage and hope, and handling it well, many have gained much strength and greatness. We have inspiring examples in Indira Gandhi, Golda Meir, Sirimao Bandaranaike, and others who have led nations ahead after their loss with their strength and resources. The Seafarers Widows Association was born with the idea of empowering widows and transforming them into cherished and valuable contributors of society as assets and not objects of pity. It aims at restoring the dignity of womanhood, their rights, and to battle with the discrimination into which widowhood can plunge them. Right now, we are in the spade work of the association. Many have very enthusiastically joined in with the concept, and the form and the mission is being crafted with much care. And we hope to have a more readied version very soon. As such, our mission is to arrange programs for the building up of self-respect and confidence of one's own individuality and capability, sharpening skills on better management of home and children while donning the role of a father and mother simultaneously, to conduct classes and other means to develop one's skills and inborn abilities to make life more meaningful, colorful, and interesting. Programs also are developed to extend help to underprivileged women and widows and to society at large. Apart from that, we consider rendering of financial help if and when required, and the arrangement of friendly get-togethers to share experiences and views in current awareness and other relevant matters, and so on. We hope our vision and mission will bear much fruit in the years to come. Calling for encouragement and support, I bid goodbye to my time. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for this fantastic talk. Much inspiring words. It's truly a noble task that you're heading. And as seafarers, we can only promise all possible support to your endeavor. Thank you. I now invite another stalwart of our fraternity, Captain Benny Kollassany. Captain Benny is a senior sailing master with 13 years of command experience out of 30 at sea. He is a very active member in fraternity activities, and along with Captain Sardar Kandathil, one of the pioneers of the Day of Seafarer celebrations in Kochi. He holds a postgraduate MBA and is also an associate fellow of Nautical Institute, London. Captain Benny is also the General Secretary of the Kerala Merchant Navy Officers Association. I request Captain Benny to kindly share a video presentation compiled for this special occasion. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Captain Rajesh. Good evening to all. Professor Dr. K.S. Simon, our beloved Chief Guest, Mr. Maneesh Pradhan, and eminent speakers, and my dear fraternity. Happy to be here with you, and I can see many seafarers taking part of this webinar, even from Saudi Arabia and South Africa. And I wish you all a very, very happy Day of the Seafarer. And here I would like to present a small video. It's a depiction of life on board. Please stay online. Please elaborate, please. Ajay, please enable me to display.
Yeah, just giving you privileges to share screen. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Ajay, I am not able to get that with computer. It's only on the web based.
Captain Nambia, can you just try doing the same?
Sure, sir. Benny, sir, I'll share the video. No problem. I'll share the video.
Okay, thank you. 5 minutes.
Sunrise touched the coastline on the cotton showing the dust. Long nights I'm gone with the raven. Water's been waiting long. Float on the river of time. Hold steady, hold steady. The sea comes 'cause the summer falls without the cold. Boat for the chains of the tides. Hold steady, hold steady. Storm for hours and rain days. And your life's swept on. The stream will take us home. Sunrise touched the coast. On my feet, showing clear. Walk through the sand and the warm night. The water will take the weight from us. And all our lives swept on. The stream will take
Thank you very much, sir. The video has brought back nostalgic memories in all of us. It reinforces our belief in the purpose which unites us all as seafarers. I would now request Captain Dilip Panangadan, Senior Master, Executive Committee Member of CMMI Kochi and Secretary Incumbent of the Mariner Society to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rajesh. It is my pleasure and privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of the Mariner Society Kochi, CMMI, IMEI, NI, MOCC, and others attending this Zoom meeting, and on my own behalf, extend a very hearty vote of thanks to all the speakers for gracing this occasion, International Day of the Seafarer, and sharing your thoughts, views, and opinions on today's theme, Seafarers are Key Workers. A very big thank you to Mr. Maneesh Pradhan for taking time off his busy schedule to grace the occasion and giving us a vivid insight on today's theme. We are very grateful and thank Mr. Uday Purohit, President, Institute of Marine Engineers, India, for his thoughts on the occasion of International Maritime Day of the Seafarer 2020, with special emphasis on quality maritime training. I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to Mrs. Meena Roberts, wife of late Mr. KJ Roberts, Chief Engineer and Mariners Nite activist, for her wholehearted support to the idea of forming a Mariner Society Kochi Widows Association and her willingness to take on the mantle of being the association's first president. We, the Mariner Society Kochi, extend our wholehearted support. Further, we are very grateful to Captain Joseph Alapat, Deputy Conservator, Cochin Port Trust, and Deputy Chairman, Company of Master Mariners India, Kochi Chapter, for his willingness in sharing his experiences in helping out the seafaring community during this pandemic and facilitating crew change at Kochi Port outer roads using port tugs. I would also like to thank him in launching the Mariner Society Kochi Widows Association on this occasion. I would also like to thank Captain Benny Kollassany for his exemplary video presentation in connection with the International Day of the Seafarer 2020. Your video presentation was very well received. I would like very much to say a big thank you to our senior sailor today, especially Captain Sunil Nangya and the Sailor Today team, for being kind enough to live stream the full event on their YouTube channel in order to cater for a larger audience and to highlight the International Day of the Seafarer 2020 organized by the Mariner Society Kochi. I also wish to express my deep gratitude to our President, Professor Dr. K. Simon, for providing the encouragement and direction in organizing this function in such a short time and for arranging the speakers. Finally, my vote of thanks would not be complete without thanking Captain Rajesh Nambiar, our MC, on this occasion, Mr. Ajay Pillai for organizing the Zoom meeting platform, Mrs. Shalini Sanid for the invocation, and to all the executive committee members who actively contributed to the planning and execution of this program with their valuable suggestions and inputs. Once again, I want to state that we are all most grateful to all the speakers on the Zoom platform. We thank all the participants for being with us this afternoon. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you. Over to you, Rajesh.
Thank you very much, sir. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude the official proceedings of the day, and thank you all for taking time out and being with us all today. Once again, we wish all a very happy Day of the Seafarers. Thank you.